I'm Helen Norbury, and this is Becoming Unapologetically Me, the show all about authentic self-expression with expert guests from the fields of health, leadership, and mindset. This show is here to show you that you don't need to conform to the expectations that friends, family, and society have of you, and actually what we can unearth when we find the courage to become the unapologetic version of who we are. Grab a cup of coffee and get your notepad out for this week's episode. Hello, and welcome back to Becoming Unapologetically Me. I wanted to talk about something today that has really become a part of my life over the last 9 months or so, and some of the realizations that I've had as I've been on this journey over the last few months. So if you have been following my stories, you may well have heard that about summer of 2024, I was looking for a new challenge in terms of my health and fitness. I'd just recently walked a marathon in aid of Alzheimer's UK, and I wanted a goal with my health and fitness because I know what I'm like. If I don't have a goal, I was going to meander and wander and not really make the progress that I wanted to make with my health and fitness. So I started exploring what other options there could be for me. I don't really come from a fitness background. I rode horses a lot growing up, but that's quite different in terms of the fitness, that how fit I was at that time. Then when I went to university, I played a little bit of lacrosse, but not really very much, and didn't really do much at all, just kind of walking and things like that as I moved into my career. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I never really found a form of fitness that I enjoyed, and so it was always a bit of a chore. Apart from walking, I love walking. So I wouldn't have said that I came from a fitness background at all. When I turned 40, I started CrossFit, and I did really enjoy that. And that culminated with me doing some obstacle races, but I did then get injured with my rotator cuff, and then COVID came, and that kind of all just fizzled out a little bit. So as you wind back to 2024, then I'd done this marathon walk, and I was kind of thinking what I wanted to do. I did the marathon walk to kind of see if I wanted to train to run a marathon, and very quickly established that that was not on my mission list. So I was like, what am I going to do? As I was then just thinking about it, all of these adverts, don't tell me the algorithm didn't get me, but all of these adverts on social media start popping up about Hyrox. And I'm like, oh, what's that? So I started exploring what Hyrox is and thought, that sounds like it really would suit me. The reason I thought it would suit me mostly was because everything is relatively short. There's lots of things put together so it doesn't become short overall. But it's not like running a marathon where probably for me, 5-6 hours, you're just doing the same thing, running. And I thought my boredom threshold would not be great for that. And so I really liked about Hyrox that you did one thing, then you moved to another station, back forwards. And so I wouldn't be doing one thing for a very long time. And so I decided to start exploring Hyrox, and my coach said to me, so when are you going to do one? And I think this was about June of 2024. And I said, September? It seemed far enough away in the future that I didn't really have to think about it just yet, but not so far away that it was not worth training for. So the line was drawn in the sand that I was going to do a Hyrox in September. And that was the start of a very healthy addiction. I did a simulation, what's called a sim, for Hyrox in September 2024, and then started with my first real competition in October in Amsterdam, then did December in London, February in Toulouse, March in Malaga, And 1st of June, I did Cardiff as doubles. That was my final competition of the 2024-5 season. And now we wait till October this year, 2025, to start the next season. What I wanted to talk about relevant to that was, as I've been on this journey, I kind of initially thought on one side of me, I would have my health and fitness journey. And on the other side of me, I would have me and business coach and consultancy, and never the two shall cross. But as I have got more and more into my Hyrox journey, I see more and more similarities. It really is that place where ambition meets alignment, whichever side of me that you look at. And so every single person who competes in Hyrox, I love it because everyone is equal. Yes, there's open divisions and there's pro divisions, and some people run faster than others. But everyone at their own level is juggling strength, endurance, and everything in between. And that makes them the awesome athletes they are, whether they are the elite 15 or whether they are Fred from down the street. And those skills and those attributes that people bring in the Hyrox arena is exactly what makes phenomenal business owners too. And so I thought I would dive into this because I find it really interesting, these analogies, and I hoped that you would find it interesting too, and maybe see something in yourself that you might not see at the moment. So whether you're thinking about building something on the side, a little side hustle, or you're wondering whether, this is the next chapter and you're going to turn your passion into a purpose, then I really think this episode's for you. So let's dive in. So Hyrox falls in the category of what we call hybrid athletes. So what do we mean by a hybrid athlete? That is someone who trains across multiple disciplines. So running and strength, endurance and power, functional fitness and resilience. You're not in a box. You're building across different systems within your body. And you really balance and contrast those different sides of you. And for me, that is absolutely why you're wired for business. Sometimes you're wearing a finance hat. Sometimes you're wearing a marketing hat. Sometimes you're wearing an operations hat. You have to wear all the hats, particularly if it's your own business and you're just starting small and you're just building the systems from the ground up. It really is one of the skills that you need more than anything else to be successful in business, is understanding that there's multiple sides of you that need to come out at any point in time. Let's break it down. I think I see 7 really powerful traits that make hybrid athletes really naturally able to step into being entrepreneurs, founders, whether that's coaches, whatever that looks like. And when I say coaches, I'm not necessarily talking about personal trainer type coaches. Be coaches in any other skill set that you may have, but really the skills and attributes that we have as a result of being hybrid athletes, as a result of, or we've ended up as hybrid athletes because we have them, who knows? But those same skills really translate across into business as well. So the first one is about discipline over motivation. So obviously, to compete in a Hyrox event, you have to do a lot of training. I personally train 5 to 6 days a week. And so that means going to the gym regularly, going out for a run, even when it's raining and cold and windy through the winter, even when you don't feel like it. That day where you're like, oh, really? And those days come for everybody. But nonetheless, despite that, you show up. You show up early, you push through the pain and the discomfort, and you stay consistent, even when you're not necessarily seeing progress in that moment. And business is exactly the same. Yes, we hear a lot of hype and a lot of singing and dancing, but actually it's the consistency. If you ask anybody successful, what is their kind of key to success. You will be told consistency time and time again. Having the consistency and having the systems, discipline absolutely is your superpower, whether you're training as a hybrid athlete or whether you're a business owner. The second is long-term thinking. So we live in a culture now that is looking for results straight away. When you can order something online and it turns up on your doorstep 4 hours later, we have an instant gratification culture, one that doesn't wait for results to show up. It's really important, in my view, to balance that out with the places of patience and understanding that results take time. You would not go to the gym once and expect to suddenly have a six-pack. You wouldn't expect to podium after 2 weeks of training. So this patience and big picture thinking really is essential in business. When we're laying those foundations for business, which are underneath the ground, the things that no one sees you doing, but is building you a foundation for success in the future, you're used to playing the long game. And so whether that's as a hybrid athlete or whether that's as a business owner, these are skills which are in short supply, if I'm honest. Lots of people just want to show up once and expect to see the results. It's not how it works. The next area is about resilience and mental toughness. So, of course, when we're training, there come times when you hit walls, literally. I've had workouts planned that I'm like, oh my goodness. And I get maybe half the way, 3/4 of the way through it. And you just don't know if you can carry on any further. A lot of the training I do for Hyrox is what we call compromise pacing. So training, like learning to carry on when you're tired and exhausted, training through setbacks, whether they're injuries, just a day where you don't feel so great. And as women, we naturally have that through a cycle anyway, or whether they're mental doubts, that those sort of little demons that get in the way that say, I can't do this, or why did I think I could do that? What we learn is we build grit. And in business, it's exactly the same. Things won't always go to plan. There's one thing that I could guarantee you is that things won't always go to plan. Sometimes people say no, you'll be rejected, you'll need to make a pivot, you'll make the wrong call. That's all okay. But as athletes, we don't quit when it gets hard. We get curious, or as my coach says, think of ourselves as a scientist about our body. Like really get to learn and understand what nutrition works for you, what sleep patterns work for you. You get curious and you adapt, try something different. Did that work? Was it better? And it's exactly the same in business. We go again, we learn and we go again. The next area is about time management and prioritization. Most hybrid athletes also have another job. So it's not a matter of just being able to do your training whenever. You're fitting your training in and around very full lives, whether those are jobs, kids, other commitments. You learn how to schedule, how to commit, and how to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term goals. Sometimes you can't say yes to everything. And this is exactly the same in entrepreneurship. There's distractions everywhere. And having clarity on what your goals are and what's going to help you take the steps in the direction that you're wanting to travel, these are really important lessons to learn. So the next one is about coachability and self-awareness. So as an athlete, you know how to take feedback. You've probably worked with coaches, you've tracked metrics, you've refined your form, you've watched videos of you trying different things out. And that openness, that humility, the growth mindset is absolutely essential in business as well. So if you look around, all of the best founders that you will see of really successful businesses, they're so coachable. They're always learning and having that brain that is wired to think, how do I get better? Not in a way that is beating yourself up because you feel like you failed or anything like that, but just with curiosity to how can I trim a few seconds off here or make this a little bit better, or what do I need to do there? Always learning, always open to new ideas is such an important skill, both as a hybrid athlete and in business. The next one is about energy management and nervous system regulation. So, yes, it's really important to push, to challenge your body to what is the most that I can achieve. But it's also really important to know how and when to rest. So, recovery is non negotiable in sport, and it's the same in business, particularly when you're in business on your own. There's not a whole team who can pick up and carry on from you. You are the business. And so understanding that we're going to have cycles of intensity and cycles of rest, that makes you much more sustainable in the long run. And burnout is such a common issue, whether it's for people who are in jobs, whether it's entrepreneurs. But I've seen so many entrepreneurs burning out because they want to go faster, faster, faster without realizing you're not a robot. You need to take the periods of rest as well. And it's something that I find difficult myself as well. I'll be really honest, because I just see the next step and I want to take it without necessarily thinking, maybe now is the moment to stop and rest, reflect, and then I take the next step. And when I started thinking about this, it amused me because when I was doing a lot of horse riding and competing in horse riding, I used to have a schedule with my horse essentially where he would have 6 weeks rest in the summer because he didn't do so well when it was hot and the ground was hard. He was much better when it was a bit cooler. And so every summer I would schedule in a kind of a 6-week break for him. And every single year after his 6-week break, he came back twice the horse that had gone out to rest. He improved every single year as a result of having this rest. And when I put those pieces together in my head, it was like, that makes perfect sense. How did I know that at 17 when I was working with my horse and competing quite seriously with him? How did I know it then, but yet fail to see it as an entrepreneur in business? And since making that shift myself, I've recognized so much more capacity within myself to be creative, to be productive. And it really is a game changer when you know how to rest and when to rest. And the final quality that I want to talk about here is about an identity beyond results. So this is quite a deep one, really, that as an amateur athlete, you're doing this for you. I don't go out to compete to stand on the podiums. Not saying I wouldn't like it, but that's not the goal behind why I go out. But it's really about a love of the process, a love of the growth that I'm experiencing individually, and the challenge, for sure, the challenge. Every time knowing that I've overcome a level of pain and discomfort and pushed myself beyond where I think I can get to, that internal drive, that fuels great business owners as well. And seeing it on the Hyrox floor as well is really amazing. So it's not about chasing the external wins. And that's the same in business. It's not about getting the awards or even seeing a certain number in your bank account. It's really about building something that truly reflects who you are. And with that authenticity, it really connects and that sells and it builds trust. And so you know about it from the Hyrox floor or whatever your version of that is. And then to bring it into business, it's really a very obvious connection. Hyrox is ordered around running and functional fitness stations. So you start off with a 1 kilometer run, and then you do one station and you do that 8 times. So that by the end, you've run 8 kilometers and you've completed 8 stations. So I thought I would just draw some comparisons again between these stations and what it's like for business. So with the running, it's really tempting that there's a lot of hype in the start box and your nervous energy, your adrenaline can get really fired up in there. And when I was at Cardiff recently, there was a big, like you're coming out of the Players Tunnel and the Principality Stadium and then big puffs of smoke and all of this stuff. There's a lot of hype. And the temptation can be to set off quite fast, faster than you should do, bearing in mind what's ahead of you. So learning to pace yourself is one of the most important lessons in Hyrox. And it's exactly the same in business. So we don't want to sprint out of the gate. We need to learn to listen to our body, manage our energy, and keep moving forwards at the right pace. Not too fast, not too slow. It's the Goldilocks moment that we're looking for, just right. Even when we can't see the finish line, knowing that we're moving forwards at the right pace is a really important part of business, and it's a really important part of Hyrox as well. So once we've done our first run, the first station we come to is the ski erg. So skiing for 1 kilometer. And this is really about grinding through resistance with rhythm. So it's tough, it's hard, but we just build a rhythm and we keep going. Even when it hurts, we keep going. So it's all about efficiency and rhythm, even when we start to get tired. And this is just like the daily grind of building something meaningful. So often I've had business owners say or allude to me that it's not as fun and exciting and sexy as maybe they thought it was going to be in the terms of building their business. It really is about creating a drumbeat for your business, and they're just daily doing the actions that move you towards your goal. And it could say it's a daily grind towards building something meaningful. It's not flashy, but it definitely builds a relentless power and endurance. So then we run again. And then after we've done that, we push a sled loaded up with weights. So for this, it really is like pushing into the discomfort with a full body conviction. So you have to commit to pushing this sled. It's heavy, significantly heavier than your body weight. So half effort is not going to budge it. This is momentum building in real time. And this is the same. It takes intensity to launch your next chapter. So we can't go like half dipping a toe in the pond. Yeah, I'll kind of do it. We're all in or we're not. That's the way that we're going to get the traction. Then we run again. And then we come back. And this time we're pulling the sled. So here, this is very much like dragging your past into your future, but with strength. So you're literally pulling this huge weight behind you, all of those stories that you've been told throughout your life. And some of them are helpful and some of them are not so helpful. And just like in life and business, there's times where you feel every ounce of what you've carried through your life. But step by step, you move it forwards. Again, you just keep going and you'll bring it all with you. And that's the same with your business. There's going to be stories that feel heavy when you're creating your business. And there's going to be others which are much more helpful, much lighter. But there's a lot of weight that you maybe need to drag forwards, but just keep stepping through and you'll get it to the other side. And then we run again. And then my favourite, not, of all the stations. So burpee broad jumps. We've got 80 metres in front of us of doing some burpee broad jumps. And this is really like rising after the fall and leaping towards growth. So with a burpee broad jump, you lie on the floor flat essentially, then stand up and jump forwards. Every rep is a cycle of going down and getting up stronger. And just like the setbacks in life, every burpee is a short moment to reset, realign, reflect, and then get ready to jump forwards. It hurts, it's painful, it's not what you want to do, and it feels like a long journey. But you absolutely have it inside of you, one burpee at a time. Then we run again, and that is a tough run after the burpees. And then we come into the rowing, the only moment through the whole race where we get to have a little sit down. So this one is power through patience. Rowing really rewards people who understand about control and timing. It's not just about going faster. And actually, in the context of the race, the people who do best are those who can slow down enough to allow their heart rate to come down, to catch their breath, for everything to just settle a little bit before the second half of the race. And it's the same in business. It's not always fast and flashy. It's about pulling with purpose, keeping your rhythm, and trusting that the effort that you're making adds up. Then we go for a run again and then come back to the farmer's carry. So this is really like carrying the weight of responsibility, but with a really calm strength. No shortcuts, no tricks, just a solid grip, posture, and steady movement. And again, like business, sometimes it's just about quietly carrying the load. No applause, just determination to complete your task. And then we run again. There's a lot of running. And then we come back for the sandbag lunges. So this is about progress with pressure. So the sandbag will move around on your back a bit. It shifts, it's awkward, tests your balance. By having the sandbag on your shoulders compared to just doing lunges without it, it really risks pushing you off the path that you think that you're on. Exactly the same way as navigating new roles or changes in life. But each rep that you do, you build resilience and you build that control under pressure. That's exactly what you need when you're building a business. And then our final run. This is a very happy moment by this stage before we come in to do 100 wall balls. So wall balls, you squat down and then you push up and you push the wall ball up to a target. 4 kilos for the women, 6 kilos for the men. It's really about putting effort into the unknown and trusting the returns. So you throw the ball up, you don't know exactly how it's going to land, but you trust that it will. And wall balls are all about rhythm, repetition, and releasing control. And this is such a great analogy for business. Whether you're launching a new idea or taking bold action, sometimes we can't see exactly how it's going to unfold right in front of us, but trusting that we're taking the right actions, we're doing the right things, and that if we keep doing that, we're going to get the right results at the end. 100 is an awful lot of wall balls after everything that you have just done. And so it can feel like a really far off goal, just keeping going, chugging through each of those wall balls and trusting that as long as you keep your body moving, you keep squatting and throwing, you are going to get to 100, even if it seems like the furthest off goal in the world. There's so many analogies between being a hybrid athlete and being an entrepreneur. But yet, so many people that I speak to in this world, they don't really see themselves as entrepreneurs. Oh, I'm not a business person. You really are. Just shown you in so many ways how you've already done the hard stuff. You've trained discipline, failure, commitment, strategy, identity, and mindset, the fact that you've done it through sport rather than business doesn't matter. Now is the opportunity for you to transfer those skills into a new arena. Business isn't different to the training that you're already doing as a hybrid athlete. You build the foundation, you show up, you iterate, you grow, you're curious. It's all the same thing. And the best part, you can build something that gives you freedom to live life on your terms, whether that's the training, traveling abroad to compete, whether it's the ticket sales and the time that it takes to go through that. If you know, you know. But creating something that allows you to do all of the things in your life that fulfill you, how amazing is that? So if you're a hybrid athlete and you're dreaming about a business, whether it's a bit more of a side hustle, whether it's a coaching business, a brand, a product, community, whatever it is, just want to bring you this as a reminder, really, that you are so much more equipped than you think. You really don't need another qualification to get started. This is about backing yourself and believing that you deserve to have this business as well. And if you need support, that's what I'm here for. To clear the mindset blocks, create the structure, and step into that next level identity. I totally have you with this. So this is your time. Let's build something that matches the strength that you've already shown on the Hyrox floor, on and off the track, whether it's Hyrox, whether it's marathons, whether it's anything else that requires you to dig deep and to go further than you thought possible. If this really spoke to you, please follow me, share it with a fellow athlete as well, or just tag me on Instagram at Helen Norbury, because I love to hear what resonates with you. And until then, enjoy your fitness journey, enjoy your health, and really believe in yourself for business. Thank you for listening to this episode of Becoming Unapologetically Me. Make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts so you never miss an episode.